My name's London Breed. I'm the mayor of San Francisco, and I'm joined by Supervisor Asha Safai, who is the supervisor of this district. We're joined by Dr. Grant Colfax with the Department of Public Health and your amazing community member who helped spearhead and put this thing together, E.J. Jones. And let me start by saying that, I really want to express my appreciation to all of the people with the resources that are here, to all of the folks in this community for your patience, for your understanding as we deal with one of the most challenging world pandemics that we've ever experienced ever, right? And it's been an adjustment for all of us. We've not been able to come together with our family and friends. We've not been able to visit. We've not been able to open so many of our small businesses. It's been over 6 months, and it has really taken its toll on our city, on our community. And all of you continue to be patient and continue to do your part. I see so many people. Everyone here is wearing their masks. People are socially distancing and doing their part, because that is how we're going to get to a better place. But more importantly, we are living with COVID for some time. We all know that. And how do we get our city reopened? We do it by making sure that we provide access to testing. And it has to be consistent, because you can get tested today and then contract the virus tomorrow and then say, wait a minute, I'm feeling a certain kind of way, but I have symptoms, but I just got tested and I was negative. And the fact is, we have to make it easier. We have to make it easier in the communities on the southeast side of San Francisco, because we know the disparities are right here in communities like the OMI. We know that our Latino population in particular has experienced higher amounts of COVID-19. Over 50% of the over 10,000 cases diagnosed in this city have been people of Latino descent. And so we have to make sure that we bring the testing and the contact tracing directly to the communities. Sites like this are so critical. The consistency of having pop-up sites and permanent sites in the OMI, in the Bayview Hunters Point, and in the Mission are critical to our ability to get this virus under control and make sure that we meet people where they are in their communities so that they can get tested whenever they want, no questions asked, nothing regarding your immigration status. We are here to protect public health, and that's what this is about. So I am really excited, because this is not just a testing site. This is also a site with resources. This is a site where we're going to provide access to various resources, because this is really about the community. And so I want to thank E.J. Jones for his leadership and Supervisor Safaii for his leadership. And I want to also just say, just to put this into perspective, you all know this past Monday, we just opened indoor salons, nail salons. And you know what, you guys, I was so happy to get a manicure and pedicure last night. I didn't know what to do with myself. I really didn't. Yes, it was like the best experience ever. And the thing is, I want to make sure that places that like we all go to, that we all love, the people who have been suffering and collecting no income whatsoever, we want them to stay open. We want them to continue to be open. And the fact is, we are doing okay with our numbers. And we want to keep it that way. We want to improve the numbers. And that involves all of us playing our role. And in fact, we're doing so kind of okay that we anticipate by the end of this month, we will be in orange. We're currently in red, so we're not out of the woods, but we expect, based on if the numbers continue to go the way that they're going, we'll be at level orange. And as a result, we will be able to open restaurants indoors at 25% capacity if that occurs, if we continue the way that we are. Because we know restaurants are suffering. We know hair and nail salons are suffering. We know gyms are suffering. We know our mental health, because of our inability to access our churches and our spirituality in the way that we have before, we're suffering. So if we continue down this path, we will have an opportunity to reopen safely, because COVID hasn't gone anywhere so far. So we got to get used to living like this. We got to get used to the mask wearing, the socially distancing. And yeah, we want to have a party, and over time we're hanging out with our families in the backyard or at the park. We get too comfortable and we start drinking a little bit and start taking things off. We can't let up. We can't see another surge. We can't go backwards. We've come too far. San Francisco has been a leader in this whole coronavirus world pandemic. We were the first city in the country to say, you know what, we're going to shut it down. Our numbers have been decent. Our death rates have, sadly, we've lost a lot of people, but not in comparison to other places. We are doing okay, but we can do better, because I want to keep these businesses open. I want to make sure we don't lose the fabric of San Francisco and what makes San Francisco so great and so special. And that means we have to do our part. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. We're really excited. We're going to have a good time. We can have a good time socially distancing and wearing masks, right? I've been saving a lot of money on lipstick, by the way. But the fact is, we're all in this together. And I appreciate everything that each and every one of you have done. And at this time, I want to take the opportunity to introduce your supervisor of this district, who has been an amazing, amazing advocate for the people of this community, Supervisor Asha Safai.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Asha Safai. I want to really start off by saying thank you to our mayor. Isn't she doing such a wonderful job leading our city, taking the heat? You know, she said herself she hadn't gotten her hair done in months. That takes.
I do it myself.
She does. I know, but you didn't get it done in the shop, right? So that's a big deal, right? So we're all sacrificing. And I know she actually put out a message this morning for our schools, talking about families. There's a lot of people struggling right now. There's a lot of children, a lot of families that are waiting for their opportunities to go back to school. So the work that we all do together as a community, coming together as a community, benefits everyone. Benefits those that are suffering the most. And there's a lot of children right now that are waiting for their opportunity to get back into the classroom. And so much of that is already being underscored what we've done in this community. We opened up one of our community learning hubs, Renard Monroe with Youth First and Rec and Park and DCYF. They're there for our families. So I want to say thank you again to Mayor London Breed. I want to also thank Dr. Colfax for his leadership and the work that his Department of Public Health is doing, and the COVID Command Center for joining us here today. This site is community driven. This site is a perfect example of how a community that comes together shows its resiliency and its strength. After months of fighting to open a testing site, the OMI Lakeview community came together. These folks are volunteering their time. These folks are going above and beyond what they've been asked to do, and the OMI Lakeview community are a model of strength for the rest of our city. This is how it should be done. So this resource hub, as you see here, it's more than just testing. People can come, they can get access to food services, they can get access to housing assistance, they can get, soon they're going to be able to access a flu vaccination. All of this has come and shown how the community can come together and really serve those in need. I also want to give a special shout out to our community-driven effort called Invest Black. Let's give it up for Invest Black for their leadership in owning this site. They've come together, as I said, as a community and showing what is how you can lead and how a community can turn a national movement into a neighborhood-driven movement. And as the mayor did, I want to give a special shout out to E.J. Jones for the wonderful work he's done here, leading this site, being on Zoom calls, juggling his day job, and continuing to do what he needs to do to lead us through this effort. I also want to give a shout out to Patty Clement and Catholic Charities. This is their site, this is their location, and Patty was not about to say no. She just said, let me tell you how we can make this happen, and I'm ready to say yes. This pop-up has been driven also, and I want to give also a special recognition to a lot of the people that have been here every day. I already recognize Renard Monroe, Mary Annelle Harris, Felicia Thibodeau, Gwen Brown, Maurice Rivers, Delia Fitzpatrick, Brandon Wiley, Gail Rossborough, Monique Guidry, Mary Thomas, Jaffria Morris, all the folks that have been here on the ground fighting every day, volunteering every day to make sure this community is safe. And if I didn't mention you, I'm sorry. I tried to remember everyone that was involved. So anyway, thank you again for all your work. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be a part of and someone that's been supporting Invest Black during these times. And I'm really, really proud to be the supervisor of this district. Thank you, everyone. We're going to bring up Dr. Colfax.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Grant Colfax, Director of Health. Thank you, Mayor Breed, for your ongoing leadership, and Supervisor Safaii. It's really an unprecedented time here in San Francisco, and because of your leadership, we are in a better place than so many places across the United States with regard to COVID-19. I want to thank E.J. Jones. Thank you so much for spearheading this effort to get this work on the ground. Also the Southwest Community Corporation, IT Bookman Community Center, Catholic Charities, thank you for making the site available, and to all community partners for their collaboration and support of this true community asset. This is so much more than just a testing site. This is really that collective wraparound service center that we need, that we know we need to have our approach to COVID-19 take root, our prevention work, our supporting people when they test positive, and helping people in their recovery, not only individuals, but their families, their friends, and the community. As the mayor just noted, more than 50% of our COVID positive cases are in the Latino community. And when we saw this trend, we responded by implementing community mobile testing strategies to bring testing to neighborhoods most impacted by COVID-19. Our community mobile testing sites have visited and are regularly testing people now in the Mission, the Excelsior, Visitation Valley, Sunnydale, the OMI, the Tenderloin, the Bayview, among others. And while this virus does not discriminate by race or ethnicity, it does exploit our existing economic and social disparities. We know that this pandemic affects some communities more than others, and we must continue to focus on an equity approach as we continue to expand our testing, prevention, and care efforts. This is why community mobile testing like we are having today is so vital to our response. To date, we have tested more than 5,000 people in these community mobile testing sites and have tested more than 23,000 people at our community testing clinics. Our community mobile testing strategy allows us to respond quickly to where the virus is spreading fastest, and testing and providing those wraparound services to help people get what they need. This includes isolation and quarantine services, providing the hotel rooms for people who need to isolate and quarantine safely, food assistance, healthcare services. We are here on the ground helping people in the communities in which they live. I'm happy to say, with regard to our isolation and quarantine rooms that are available to people if they test positive, 45% are currently occupied by people who identify as Latino. And as we have expanded our case investigation and contact tracing efforts with so many community members, we are now expanding our contact tracing team so that 50% of our investigators are collaborating and are Spanish speaking. 90% of Latino cases have been contacted by case investigators. And of those who have been tested in that situation, 15% have tested positive. 72% of COVID positive patients who have been hospitalized at Zuckerberg Hospital are Latino, reinforcing the need to care and test and get our services out to communities most affected by COVID-19, including the Latino community. It is why our community partners are so important, helping us identify those who need testing and access to services. Testing is one part, but prevention is so important. And prevention to all communities in San Francisco is so key because we do not want this virus to spread quickly. Slowing the spread of the virus is so important. These sites complement our DPH clinics, which are testing hundreds of people every day. To date, thanks to the dedicated staff of 30 people who run this site, we have tested over 700 people in the community at this testing site alone. 700 people, and this has only been open for a few weeks. Think of what we're going to do in the next few months. And we are hopeful that today we will add 250 more people to get tested here today alone. So because of these efforts, we are on our path to reopening, a path that gets people back to work, lets our small businesses open their doors, and get our economy back on track. As the mayor mentioned, we saw some vital reopenings happening this past week, and we're excited about potentially opening indoor restaurants at 25% capacity soon when we get into the orange level and when we are ready with our restaurant partners to do this. We need to continue this work together. I'm proud of what we are doing, but we must take those prevention efforts. So you know what I'm going to say. Continue to wear the facial coverings. It's so important. Continue to social distance. Be safe. Dig a little deeper, and together we will come through this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Colfax. He's used to us being at City Hall, so he has to come in and give all the technical details, but they are very important, I promise you. I also want to give a shout out to Maestro Curtis and the C Notes. He and his family are here to perform for everybody today. He and his amazing wife and talented children, they are just incredible and awesome, and we are so glad to have them in this community. They are always performing for the seniors and other groups of people all over the city. So the C Notes, everybody, thank you. At this time, we're going to wrap it up with E.J. Jones, who's just going to thank all of the community and talk about the work that he did to help make this happen. E.J.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to say my name is E.J. Jones. I am a third-generation member of this Lakeview community. So this community means everything to me. And I also want to first off start by thanking the mayor, Dr. Grant Colfax, Supervisor Safai, for allowing us the opportunity to have testing in our community. My story with COVID-19 and testing began in early July when I thought I had an exposure and needed to get tested and could not find a place that would test me sooner than 2 weeks out. At that time, I gave a call to Supervisor Safai and asked what was available in the district. There wasn't many options. I was able to get tested at the Mission Hub thanks to community members. And right after, Supervisor Safai and I had a conversation about how we can bring testing to the OMI. With that said, as you look around, this testing site is not about me. It's not about my work. It's about the entire community that is out here. There are numerous organizations that come together on a weekly basis to make sure that our community is safe and that our community is taken care of. So really, when you're looking at the success today, you're really looking at the power of community. As the mayor, as Dr. Colfax, and as Supervisor Safai has said, we're only going to beat this through community, and that's how you beat any and everything. So I just want to thank the entire community for coming out today. We wouldn't be able to do this without each and every one of the organizations and members that are here today. I appreciate everyone so much. Thank you.